Hi everyone, it's Robbie and Mo. Shop's all closed up, so I've got a minute to talk to you about this Rubicon. It has the 6.2 LS-3 in it. It's actually an L9H, which is the truck version of the LS-3. It's been sitting here for about a half an hour, idling with the air conditioning on. It's well over 100 degrees here in Vegas, and it's staying at about 198 degrees coolant temperature-wise. I'm going to try to give you a quick look at the engine compartment. We, for cooling reasons, chose to go with a very simple air intake setup. You'll notice there's no cold air box on this. And the reason is the JK has a very small engine compartment. And especially when you put in a Hemi, which is a relatively large engine, you end up with not a lot of room for the air to go. So with our customers that have Hemis that are overheating here, we end up removing components, such as the engine cover. I've seen these TIPMs, the Total Integrated Power Modules, get so hot that the plastic starts to get soft and melt. And when you install a cold air box around this air filter, you're effectively reducing a lot of the cold air that flows in through the headlight bucket and from underneath. And getting airflow through this engine compartment is really what it's all about. We've also done the same thing with this coolant recovery bottle. You'll notice it's not a large bottle. It's small because by boxing this area in, again, you are causing an air dam which doesn't allow air to flow through the engine compartment as well as it should. Now on this LS, it is quite a bit smaller than the Hemi. You can see there's a lot more room for the air to go. We want to create as little pressure under the hood as we can. If you create high pressure under the hood, then low pressure from outside is not going to want to enter, and the fan has to work harder. So what we're trying to promote here is cooling air through the engine compartment. And we have not had any problems with these LSs as far as overheating, even in the 118 to 120 degree range here in Las Vegas. You'll see our transmission cooler over here. This extension added to the air conditioning line is the only modification to any of the hoses. It's the low side line going to the evaporator. All the other air conditioning lines, wiring, power steering lines are original. So it's pretty much stock appearing under the hood. You wouldn't know by the way this engine is idling that it really is a beast on the road, especially with the 411 gears and the 6-speed transmission. I'm hoping to post a video soon of me driving this JK. We have our transfer case range position sensor all figured out, and the axles and the sway bar operate just as they did originally. Even our driver information center, if you have one in your JK, operates normally. The compass, the outside air temperature, the fuel economy meter, etc. We've tried to keep everything as simple as possible, but be strong. So that's about it. I'll hopefully get a more in-depth video for you when we start to drive this. You'll hear our high-speed fan kicked in, and that's because of our AC condenser pressure, not because of our engine coolant temperature. You can really feel a lot of air coming out of that fan and then going into these spaces on either side of the engine. So you can see by boxing this engine compartment in with a cold air box and a large coolant recovery bottle, plus a much larger engine if you are running a Hemi, it ends up creating a high pressure area in the engine compartment, and it gets very difficult to pull cool air in through the grill. The cold air hood does help, but we found that it's not necessary with the LS. We've run the LS up to 120 degrees, and so far I've had no issues with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you soon.